of the program. This, of course, is Stinchfield, the podcast. It is so great to be along with you today. We are going to talk about today on Stinchfield the Internet of Bodies. This idea that the Internet of Things, meaning everything is connected to the Internet, that there are the global elites out there, there is big tech, there is Big Brother, there is our own government that may be wanting to monitor you, yes, monitor you from inside your body. This is Big Brother to the extreme. There is the ultimate goal of nanotechnology being put into your body that could monitor your vitals, that could see if you are coming down with a disease, monitor flu outbreaks from within your own body. Do you want the government getting a hold of information like this? I don't want the government getting a hold of information like this, but this is the push out there. And where does it start? I don't know. Does it start with your Fitbit watch, your Apple Watch? Does it start with a wearable? Well, that's what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wants every American wearing, is a wearable. Now, do you want the government connected to all of those things? How you sleep, where you go? We're going to talk about the ramifications of this, the idea of privacy and freedom, and why Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a guy who's supposed to be a champion of freedom, would now go down the road of everybody wearing a wearable. So we're going to talk about that today on the program as well. And when you start to hear the ideas out there, frightening, I don't know, probably an understatement. The podcast is brought to you by the Wellness Company. I want to make sure that you have one of these emergency medical kits. These are prescription medications, some of the most common that you need in here. 8 of them, including ivermectin in this, amoxicillin. There's a Z-Pack in here, and a handy guidebook to help you with the safe administration of these drugs. Now, what if the drugstores get shut down? Natural disaster, terrorist attack. Who knows? Are you prepared? I know you have food and water and all of those things. The question is, do you have prescription medications? And then don't forget about the parasite cleanse. Folks, I'm big on this. Parasites are very, very real. I was just in Mexico. My very special lady friend's kid was like sucking on the pool water. I'm like, dude, that's how you get parasites. Maybe he ought to start a parasite cleanse. TWC.health/grant. Use the promo code GRANT. TWC.health/grant. Use that promo code GRANT for 10% off. All right, with that, let's get the show started.
Uncensored and unapologetic. This is Stinchfield. Here's your host, Grant Stinchfield.
All right, welcome everybody. What got me started on this was Robert F. Kennedy Jr. At a congressional hearing, basically announcing this.
We're about to launch one of the biggest advertising campaigns in HHS history to encourage Americans to use wearables. It's a way of people can take control over their own health. They can take responsibility. They can see, as you know, what food is doing to their glucose levels, their heart rates, and a number of other metrics as they eat it. And they can begin to make good judgments about their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again. And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
All right. I mean, there are some benefits to wearables, for sure. I've always said the people that are the least fit really get off on the wearables. Like, if you're fit, I don't know if you need to track your steps. Like, you're out going for a jog or a walk every day, but that's just my opinion. I want to bring in now, though, someone who knows all about being fit. Dr. Sophia Elbaz is with us. She is with the Wellness Company. Doc, did I see that you're a 2-time Jewish Olympics, Israeli Olympics competitor?
Yes. So I have a double bronze in the Jewish Olympics, double bronze medals. So I've done 10 days of competing, every other day competing in triathlon, time trial cycling, open water swimming, and then a half marathon at the end. And I won 2 bronze medals at the event. And it was the hardest events of my life, especially every other day a race in Mexico City, no less.
Wow.
It was incredible. Yes.
All right. So clearly, just looking at you, you're fit. I like to think I'm pretty fit, not as fit as you. I really don't need a wearable. I don't need a wearable to tell me what I'm doing. Now, the heart rate, there are certain times if I could get into a certain zone, I understand that. But RFK Jr. wants everybody wearing a wearable. I'm just concerned. What happens? What is the ultimate goal? Are we going to connect this to the internet and then the government has access to our vitals?
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised and rather horrified to hear that he is the one suggesting it. Why do we need wearables? I mean, I don't wear wearables unless I'm running, swimming, cycling, or doing a triathlon. On the day to day, I just wear my regular watch and I don't wear any wearables. I don't track my steps. I know how many. I usually do 20,000 a day, usually. And walking my dog, running, walking around, doing things. But I don't track my food. I don't track my sleep. I know what I'm doing. I know how I'm feeling. I don't even track my blood sugars. I know if I don't feel well, what's going on. And if I'm putting something, if I'm eating something, if I'm doing something, I know how I feel. But so many people are tracking with their iWatch. iWatches, different, whatever those wearables are called. Many of them.
And then there's like the Aura rings too, which I know are very popular. Right. You wear the ring, it tracks your sleep habits. I mean, I guess in some respects there may be a use for it. The question is, if it's going to your phone, at some point it's going to be connected to the internet. Now, the global elites have taken this a step further. Let me play for you basically a promo video for the idea of nanotechnology being put into your body to monitor all kinds of things. I'm going to play this for you and then get your response, because I know you are such a defender of freedom that this
and
is
protect EMF too. It's all connected to EMF, so you're constantly connecting to antennas.
Well, that's a good point, and I haven't seen many people talk about that either, is the EMF implications. All right, so let's watch this, and then we'll talk about it.
They call it part of the fourth industrial revolution.
One of the features of this fourth industrial revolution is that it doesn't change what we are doing, but it changes us.
The very idea of human being some sort of natural concept is really going to change. Up until now, the conversation we've been having is around freedom of speech. Once we can access people's thoughts and access people's emotions.
The focus, as all of you know, today is on what's now called the Internet of Bodies, involving medical implants and other kinds of devices that go inside your body, and all together with the internet as a whole comprise the Internet of Bodies.
The Internet of Bodies, or IOB, is actually an ecosystem. It's a bunch of devices that are connected to the internet that contain software and that either collect personal health data about you or can alter the body's function. We think of the Internet of Bodies as this collection of all these devices, as well as all the data that the devices are gathering about you. And in healthcare, Internet of Bodies has been around for quite a while.
So the Internet of Bodies, imagine the power of AI. What is artificial intelligence? It's a way to automate computation and cognition. So we can now automate learning, perceiving, doing computation. It's a pervasive general purpose technology that will be used in all of our industries, that will come into our professional networks, our private networks, our schools, our industries and our offices. What I wanted to epitomize with the Internet of Bodies is this notion that we will be under assessment, we will be under measure of computation in every aspect of our lives in the future. From what you eat, who you date, what you buy on the internet, how much energy you use, but also what are your vital signs? How well are you doing in terms of health? What kind of specific genetic quirks do you have? What's your genome telling about your health, about your mental health, about how well you are doing, how well you are aging, what kind of disease you are susceptible to?
It has a bit of an Orwellian twinge to it.
Well,
oh, ha ha ha! You're the last doc.
It sounds like a psychopathic way to do anything. They are literally controlling every move you make, who you are literally sleeping with, what you're eating, where you're going, everything about your life, they are tracking. That sounds horrifying, beyond horrifying.
All right. I made some notes here of what she said. So she said the Internet of Bodies is an ecosystem. Now, an ecosystem to me is like the jungle or
Right.
living organisms that are all living together in an ecosystem. I don't think of wires and computers and trackable devices and as an ecosystem. I think they're trying to confuse this on purpose.
100% sounds like an oxymoron. It's not an ecosystem. There's nothing eco about it. It's just like computerized antennas in your body emitting signals to the world for them to see everything you are doing, how you are breathing, what you're eating, what vaccine, what jabs you're taking, all that stuff that you're doing and injecting and ingesting, and who you're with, and what diseases you're having, and what outbreaks, and how you're feeling, etc. It's scary. Not something I would agree to.
So she talked in the beginning, or somebody of the clip we just saw. And by the way, Klaus Schwab in there talking about this. That's like the evil villain of all evil villains.
Yep.
That imagine we can monitor people's thoughts and emotions. So initially, I talked about this as being nanotechnology for your health purposes. But if they can figure out ways to monitor your thoughts and emotions, maybe they do that through taking your blood pressure as you're being told certain things. Now you know what people are thinking. I mean, I think of Elon Musk's Neuralink. Like, I don't want a chip. I mean, it sounds cool what it can do, but I don't want a chip in my brain connected to the internet.
I want no chips connected to nothing. I disconnect my Wi-Fi at night. I have a Faraday cage on it. I disconnect all the phones, EMF. Do you think I want anything in my body? Most people will disagree to that. Some of the sheeple, I would, as I call them, would just go with the flow and say, sure, connect me, bring it. But it's just not something that that Robert Kennedy should ever even bring, even in a thought. It should not even be, it's inconceivable in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. The other thing she said was we want to automate perceiving. Now, automate perceiving, that's not even automating. She did talk about calculations, but perceiving and perception, how in the world do you automate that from having something inside your body? Does that mean you're going to automate how I perceive or what I perceive about Kamala Harris, who's going to run for president again, or governor of California, or how I automate and perceive about Jasmine Crockett, the radical socialist, or perceive what I think about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? This is literally mind control, what they're talking about.
It's 100% mind control. It's brainwashing you. It's telling you what to think, how to be, and it's changing humans into robots. Why do we even need robots when we're going to become that, if that's what they want to do? And it just doesn't make, none of this makes sense.
When your ideas are so bad, I see why they want this. You can't get people on board with your ideas through the truth and through legitimate policy. So now you've got to alter their brain so you can automate what they perceive. I'm going to just put up a freeze frame of this woman talking here, and I want you to look at where she's from. Now, think about this. This is the director of the Anticipatory Intelligence Lab. What in the F is anticipatory intelligence?
She sounds French. Anticipatory intelligence sounds like AI. Like this is where the AI starts. This is where they want to start progressing everything into AI, everything into robot, everything into internet connected, like it's called Internet of Bodies. Why? And why would Robert Kennedy bring this on? Why would he even agree to that? Why? Like, who is behind this? Who is bringing this?
Well, I'm going to play another clip for you here in just a moment that he gets to the heart, this gentleman I'm about to play, gets to the heart of what really might be at play here. But before I do, I want to remind folks that we're so grateful to the wellness company who you have such a great relationship with, Doc, for all the things that they have. Certainly the prescription medication kit is a must-have for any family. But, Doc, you and I have also talked about parasites. And this parasite situation is very, very real. And it's disgusting to me. That's a piece of fish with worms in it at a grocery store. You eat that goes into your mind. You talk about the brain, parasites. You talk about the spine, parasites, organs, you name it. The wellness company has this parasite cleanse, which is ivermectin and mebendazole combination, sold out 3 times. There's a reason it's sold out 3 times, because it's getting people well, clearing up brain fog, clearing up skin conditions, clearing cancer, quite frankly. That has been some evidence ivermectin and mebendazole can help with. But this is about parasites. I urge you to consider talking to the wellness company doctors about these parasite cleanses. Again, sold out 3 times. I'm on one now, and I'm so grateful I am. twc.health/Grant. Use the promo code Grant. If you want to learn more about this, go back to last week's. I think we talked about the Liver King and that he may have a parasite infection because the guy's going crazy. For all of you that know the social media influencer. Again, twc.health/Grant. Use the promo code Grant. All right, Doc, I'm going to play this clip for you, and then I'll get your response here.
I think the big battle in this regard in the 21st century will be between privacy and health will win. Most people will be willing to give up their privacy in exchange for much better healthcare based on 24 hours monitoring of what's happening inside their bodies.
All right, there's more from this guy, but I need your response to this, because I posed this question to my co-host on the radio this morning. I said, okay, if they come up with a technology that they say they can inject into me and it can find cancer cells before they turn in and go and kill the cancer cells, would you do that? But meanwhile, it's connected to the internet. I don't know. I mean, he may have a point that people might give up privacy before health.
No way. I will not do that, because if it is connected to the internet, and if it is EMF, and if it is radiation, guess what it is doing to your body? Creating cancer, creating disease. You're feeding your body with disease with whatever they want to inject you, and they're feeding your brain unbeknownst to you, for sure.
It's so funny. You're worried about the potential disease ramifications from having a foreign object in your body. I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about, all right, they don't like what I say on the radio, or they don't like what I say on this podcast, so they start enlarging my heart and it explodes while I'm on TV. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, they're going to manipulate your body and change it, of course. If you think they're just implanting a chip to monitor your body, monitor disease, I would think, again, I don't think this is safe in any way, shape, or form. Just like they're inventing, more jabs to, prevent cancer. Really, that's going to give people more cancer. Those ingredients and the adjuvants, the toxins, and then EMF and radio in your body, you're going to be a walking antenna. I guarantee if anyone is doing it, they're going to be a walking antenna. Might as well put a magnet on your body and be stuck to you.
All right, let me play more of him, because he gets even more scary.
I guess very soon people will walk around with biometric sensors on or even inside their bodies, and will allow Google or Facebook or the Chinese government or whoever to constantly monitor what's happening inside my body, so that the day the first cancer cell starts to multiply and spread, somebody at Google or at the health authority will know and will be able very easily to nip the cancer in the bud.
The health authority is going to know. The Google will know. And you know what's so crazy is we do this no problem. When you get the sign in on the website, it says sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook, sign in. You've just connected your account to whatever you're using to sign in there. Now they're sharing all this data between each other. You connect your wearable by signing in with Facebook. Lord knows where the information's going to be going.
boy, it's not going to be just your information. It's going to be spread to everyone, authorities and governmental bodies that need to see it and want to see it. You have no privacy. You can wave it goodbye, right? None of this is left if you're doing it.
All right, listen to him here, and then he gives a real, scary example of what happens in a Marxist society when you have this.
And the day that a flu epidemic starts, they immediately know, a flu epidemic is starting, and they know who are the people who are carrying it, and they can take very effective and quick and cheap action to prevent it. So the promises are enormous. Just think of, a place like North Korea. People walking around with these biometric bracelets, and you walk into a room and you see a picture of Kim Jong-un on the wall, and something happens to your blood pressure that the algorithm correlates with some bad emotion like anger, and that's the end.
And that's the end. Boom, boom, boom. You look at Kim Jong-un and your blood pressure goes up, and they say, you know what, go get that guy. He's not good for society.
Right. Yeah. They're going to track everything you feel, everything you do, and everything you think, and they're going to take action. And it's not going to be a good action.
How close do you think we are to stuff like this?
I think it's already happening. It's already happening in China, right? It's already happening in Far East and different countries, probably more than it is here. But again, the fact that Robert Kennedy mentioned it is really alarming to me and many other Americans that have seen write about that, and they were, like I said, horrified. It's happening. We got to stop this. We got to not comply.
RFK Jr., Health and Human Services Secretary, has been such a champion for freedom when it comes to health freedom, which is why it's surprising about this, unless he's not completely thinking it out and he's just thinking, all right, the benefits of looking at your watch and seeing if your blood pressure's high or your heart rate's up or how many steps you've taken. There's a chance he may have not have thought it all out. I really don't think so, though. I think there's no such thing as coincidences, and you bring stuff up in government at that level, you know exactly what you're doing. I did see this picture of RFK Jr. Those are the faces of 24-hour biometric surveillance. This is everyone involved with the technology of surveilling your biometrics, some from the inside, some wearable technology. But he brought these folks in, the greatest minds on that subject, to talk to him at HHS. I don't know. That's 24-hour AI-driven biometric surveillance. Thanks, but no thanks.
I'm surprised Dr. Mark Hyman is in that picture, too, actually.
Is or is not? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's right next to him in a blue suit. So I'm surprised. He's a medical doctor who is more holistic. He's all about, monitoring blood sugars and stuff. But I'm surprised. This is just disturbing to me to even have that in our country. Even someone who is, promoting freedom and then promoting wearables.
So
something is not adding up.
He also, it seems, has been decent about the vaccine, about where we go. They've taken it off the kid schedule. I believe they've taken it off the pregnant mom schedule. This is the COVID vax I'm talking about. He upended the committee that approves the vaccines. I think the 17 people on this committee totally wiped out and brought new people in from all walks of life. And he ended the practice of mercury in vaccines. Now, Doc, I have to ask, and I don't know, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just a layman, but I remember when I had a thermometer as a child, and I would break open the thermometer so I could play with the mercury on the bathroom floor. And my mom used to get so upset with me because she knew you shouldn't be playing with the mercury, but also it was so cool. And, of course, I've broken a thermometer. It just was not a good thing. If we did away with thermometers so kids can't break open the mercury and play with the mercury on the bathroom floor, which is basically we've done away with those types of thermometers, we were putting mercury in vaccines that get directly injected into your body. You don't need to be a doctor to think that's not a good idea. How is it just now that has said, hey, no, you can't do that anymore?
Well, mercury is in vaccines, aluminum is in vaccines. There are so many other, adjuvants and heavy metals that are in those jabs, unfortunately, and they do cross the blood-brain barrier and lead to neurological disorders. And obviously, they kept denying that it is in jabs, and they kept denying that they kept saying that we are the conspiracy theories, saying that, it's harmless. And of course, they tell pregnant women, do not eat high mercury fish because it will harm your brain, it will harm your baby. Yet go get flu shots, right? Go get those jabs. They're perfectly safe. Now, you have to think of ingesting versus injecting. When you ingest, 0.1% gets absorbed. But when you're injecting, 100% of these heavy metals get absorbed in your bloodstream, going into your brain. I don't know why they wouldn't take them out until now, and only now, thanks to Kennedy doing the right thing and telling them to remove it. But I don't know why they haven't done it until now. They kept saying that they don't exist and they're fine, they're perfectly safe. And, back in the day, dentists used to also inject and place amalgams with mercury in your teeth. And that is so damaging, not just to your brain, but also your thyroid gland and other organs. So this has to be removed, and other adjuvants have to be removed if they ever will remove them or admit that they're in there. If you've ever seen the ingredients of any, vaccine, you'd be horrified.
What do you do for a filling? What do you do? What do you tell the dentist?
I removed them all, actually. So I went to a biological dentist and had them remove it with a rubber dam and oxygen, and so I don't inhale it. It doesn't go into my body, and I detox. I always detox.
But if you get a cavity and they got to fill it with something, what do you fill it with?
They rarely use mercury now in dentistry, if they do at all. Regular amalgams that are non-mercury, porcelain. I forget exactly. I'm not a dentist,
okay?
But the safer ones.
The white cap. Is my gold cap safe?
I don't know. Go to a biological dentist. Definitely check those. But anyone who has mercury amalgams, I highly recommend removing with a biological dentist, not just a regular removal, because you do not want to inhale it or ingest it for sure. Because that still gets absorbed.
I bet I've got some old fillings in there. I bet you I got some mercury fillings in there.
It's neurotoxic. This is why we see so much, not only autism raised, but ADHD, ADD, autoimmune, so many neurological disorders.
What was the point of putting mercury in the vaccine or aluminum? What does it do? Does it prolong how long it lasts? Does it make it last longer out of the body, or when you store it? Like, what's the point of it?
Immune reaction for your body, to create an immune stimulation, immune reaction, and also as a preservative, which is ridiculous. That just doesn't, affect anything good except for bad, side effects.
So they knew the body would reject the mercury, and that's what they wanted to create, was the body reject
immune reaction, basically, to activate the ingredients in the jab.
It is absolute insanity when you think about it. So in the end, I'll ask you the last question. You want to give RFK Jr. a letter grade on his time as HHS secretary?
I think he's doing an overall phenomenal job removing food coloring and also removing the mercury and looking at, many things about the health care and removing those, ACIP, the CDC cabinet there, and replacing them with better, fit people that don't have the best interest of their big pharma in mind, but rather of the patient. But this whole wearable has really kind of thrown me off. And this is something that I would say, hey, Bobby Kennedy, let's rethink this. Let's not take away our freedom, because you're here to create and bring our freedom back, not take it away. Why don't we rethink this whole wearable thing? Because I am not wearing one. Not now, not ever. And no one government-wise tells me what I need to wear or eat or sleep or who to be with or what to do or where to be. So
I give him a B. I give him a B because I don't think he's been strong enough on the vaccine. I think he is walking this kind of tightrope line, and he may be getting word from above to walk that line, but I don't think he's being bold enough about it. The wearable thing bothers me. Though he's done some really tremendous things, as you said. So I give him a B.
Yeah. He could definitely do a better job with removing all of the shots, but I know he has a lot of people rejecting what he's doing and trying to object it. And,
Do you want to give him a letter grade?
What's that?
Letter
B plus?
B plus, okay. All right, look, B plus, A minus is not so good. B, I'm happy with for my son in school. So So not that bad, especially when we're coming from F on everybody over, heck, decades working inside those agencies.
Right.
Doc, it is so great having you on the program. I appreciate you coming on as always and talking about this stuff with me.
Thank you so much. I always love being here. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Grant.
It is great having you on. And folks, again, don't forget, podcast brought to you by the Wellness Company. We're grateful for them because they support free speech. They're really instrumental in my ability to bring my messages to you on a daily basis, which is why I love their products. I love all their doctors. They are free thinkers, something that is completely gone, I've learned in medicine. And that's what the Wellness Company brings. So again, prescription medication kits, very, very important. But if I could impress upon, well, I'd say if I can impress upon anything, I think this is the first purchase. You got to have this for your house. But I'm telling you, this parasite cleanse, folks, 60 million Americans with parasites, it's disgusting. I mean, the thought of what is in our bodies is so gross. You can get a cleanse from the Wellness Company. They'll get it right to you. Nothing but a quick little sign up, twc.health/Grant. Use that promo code Grant and get on the program that I have gotten on, and I feel much better about it. All right, folks, that is going to do it for us. Don't forget the Real America's Voice show tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for watching Stinchfield's Army Rolls. We'll see you tomorrow.